but it doesn't have any windows. It's got a windshield. And that's a B-17 bomber seat with packing blanket for cushion and racing seat belts and gauges up on top. We're rebuilding the steering box right now, so the steering wheel's out. Otherwise, this coupe sat in the garage for 50 years, and we build engines down in Albuquerque. Got an engine builder, so this thing was 100 horsepower originally. Now it's about 240 horsepower. Ten years ago, I was acquiring cars, and I met Mike Humphreys, and I had a shop a couple miles from here. I'd inherited it from Bill Amar, who died in his sleep at the age of 70. And his girlfriend called me, and I was in Mexico, and she said, I'm gonna have to give up the shop. You're gonna have to get your Model T race car out of here. And I said, don't talk to anybody until I get back. And we held a wake for Bill Amar, and the place was full of tools and jalopies and stuff, and I took it over. I took over the lease, and I had to restore a couple cars to get him out of there. And then Marty showed up, and the rest is history. We finished the Model T I had over there, and then little by little we started finding that we needed more space, so we got this place. It was just Marty and Mike and me. Now we're 6 people here, 7 counting me. If you look behind me, there's a 1964 Studebaker Champ pickup that we're doing a total restoration on. When I was a teenager, when I was 13, I was going to be the greatest car builder in the world. And my best friend and I got out of high school, and I traded my Black Angus steer and a Buick, 56 Buick Special, hardtop, and a 57 Ford style side pickup. Sold them all. Went to New York on the way to Italy. Spent a year in Europe, but we went to 5 museums in New York, and I went, oh, art. So I took a 5-year art detour. These are drawings from when I was 13. That's around 1955. This surfboard is made by Gary Linden, who's one of the top big wave surfers. And it's made out of agave stalks, you know, the 30-foot flower stalk that comes up out of the agaves. And he's the only guy I know that makes them. So it's a beautiful piece of art as far as I'm concerned. That's me and my crew on the right side of the photograph, except for Evan over there. These 3 people just walked up and got in the picture, but that's my 39 Ford Coupe that I land speed race. It's out at Bonneville, Salt Flats in Utah. And the car went maybe 75 miles an hour top speed when it was brand new. Now it goes 125, and we're shooting for a record of 135. So it's a fun project. Marty Kraft.
Hi.
Head restorer in charge of all the funny stuff that goes on in here, has restored all these cars in his past lives. So there's Bugattis and Alfa Romeos and Fiats and Ferraris in there. There's some beautiful cars in there. And right now he's restoring a 64 or 66, or is it 68?
68.
68 Land Rover.
1953 Alfa Romeo BAT5. It was a Berlina Aerodynamica Technica, and it was a company that studied aerodynamics. And Alfa Romeo took a stock 1900 chassis and made an aerodynamic body with the help of Bertone. And the results were this, 2 other cars, and a lot of good information on aerodynamics. Some of the first wind tunnel testing ever done on cars in the early 50s.
And you restored it.
We restored this car, and I don't believe it's been re-restored since 1988. So. And now, finally, it's in a collection in Italy with the other 2 cars. So that's good news, because it floated from private collection to private collection for years and years.
There it is.
That's all I know.
See. Well, these are all racer driver wristbands. These are Southern California Timing Association, RPM Nationals, Flabob. This is Trog, the Race of Gentlemen in Jurupa Valley by Riverside, California. More, Southern California Timing Association, which is El Mirage Dry Lake or Bonneville. Safety trained. Okay. So anyway, they're all what you have to wear on your wrist to get onto the course. So those are all, it's just a history of racing. This is a 1971 or 77 Honda 125cc racing bike, and it's the bike that put Honda in the race business. This was a real fast bike then, and no starter. You got to have your crew push start you, and the tachometer goes up to 14,000 RPM. So it's it's a very high revving. Two-port bike. This is our machine shop. We make a lot of parts here, drill presses, small lathe, big Monarch lathe. Marty's worked on that for 15 years. Bridgeport, that Bridgeport will make any part you want to make. Here's a 29 Roadster, which is one of the first cars I had, but it never got worked on until just now. So I've had that car for 10 years, and we're finally starting to make it streetable. This coupe has got a chopped roof, and it's sitting on a 1932 Boyd Coddington frame, and it's kind of really rustic body to keep it rustic, but all the running gear, the engine and Chevy overhead valve engine that develops 354 horsepower. It's got an independent rear suspension with a Jaguar center section. So this is just a project right now. It's underway, and one of these days I'll be driving it. It's got rack and pinion steering. It's got coil-over front suspension that's independent A-arm suspension, as opposed to a solid front axle. So it's a more streetable car. This is 31 Model A coupe with a late flathead engine with a Scott supercharger, 2 carburetors. The whole car has been sound insulated. The interior is aluminum panels, the ceiling and the door panels. Ultimately, it's going to be painted this Jeep orange.